Render and custody. Anyone else follows my result, let me know.
You said earlier, the three of us, all three of us, still think there's something with those pipes, with the manholes. We need that 100% covered because it's still in my mind and everybody else on the team's mind. Yeah, I just.
Well, especially when you're looking at this too, because this is important. So, this right here, okay, here is that manhole that's sticking out, you know? And when you look at this, is the important part is here's Sebastian's house. If you follow the flashlight or the light video, whatever you think it may be, what you do know is that you see that light travel in this direction that we have right here. Whatever the light is, you see it traveling in this direction.
Exactly. And
So,
it's so damn close, man. It's killing me until somebody goes down there and confirms it.
well, and this is, I have to question it because I remember when we were talking about this, right? When we were talking about this, that's when they were reached out about it because that show that night after I did
Yeah.
the part two. Here's the part one and part two combined. If you haven't checked it out yet, that's the combined link. Did that a couple nights ago. But when you're looking at this, you have to question it because when I showed you guys this in the very beginning and how covered, how much mud was in these drains,
He could be still.
the search from April 6th and 7th, walking around the construction area going, holy crap, all of these man cover, the lids are missing. There's no lids. We better make sure the dog puts its head down in each one of them, and that's why we walked all up and down, basically gridded out the whole construction area.
Yeah.
To make sure that every part was covered because I'm walking by and I'm looking at these and I'm looking down in it going, damn, that's like a 6-7 foot fall. You got nothing but cement square in there. There's at least maybe a half a foot to a foot of mud in each one of them. You slip and you fall. Because listen, it's already dark out there with house lights. Imagine how dark it is in this construction area.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that one manhole is the only manhole. I'm saying you had to have looked. You had to have looked at the whole system.
Yeah, there's dozens of those around there too.
Right.
But that
right where they put that road, there was manholes all over that were not covered
right.
before they put that road there.
It just bothers me. Well, it bothers the whole team, but um, all the shit that's changed since we were there back in April. I mean, could they have covered him up? Could they have closed him in there somehow? I mean, you saw what it was like when you and Trey went. I saw what it was like when I went to do the recon of, where the retention pond was. You couldn't even see the hole. It was just covered in mud.
Yeah, this right here, this stain, that's how it was even fuller than this. Like you can tell from the stain on the mud right here on the side, on the inside. It was even fuller than that. So this is shortly after how much mud was in there in these systems. Like you could really tell, and this is what was crazy. All those months had gone by. And when was this? Maybe because I took more videos. I even took a video. I'm going to have to pull it up. But I took a video where I drop it down, and you could see how if you go in. So what they tried to do was that they tried to smooth out the pond. It was dried up here. It was dried up. They like raked it, smoothed it out, and then that hurricane came through. And after the hurricane came through, you could see how it messed up. So when they
Yep.
smoothed it out the prior week, we looked inside and they had literally scraped out like 3 feet going in, scraped it out to make it look like the pipes were cleaned out if you're walking by or driving by. It was a lazy ass effort. But if you looked down in there, you could see after the 3 feet that they scraped out, it was again half filled with mud. So it was like,
Yep.
what the hell? You guys are slacking. So then that hurricane came. After the hurricane came, then I went back there again. That's when I was like, oh, they just smoothed it out before, because now it's all unlevel again. So they were trying to make it look like it was, oh yeah, it's cleared out. But then when you went to look in there, then it actually had cleaned itself out. But there was still mud in there. So when you're talking about this tunnel system, we've already showed you in the part 1 and part 2 how the manhole, even this manhole right here, drains to the retention pond. Even this one right here drains over to the construction area to the retention pond. Everything flows like going straight back from where we're looking. Everything flows directly straight back from where we're looking downhill. And so all of these systems, any of these manholes, if he could have, if he really did walk out, or I've had people ask me, CJ, do you think it's a possibility that he could have could have been put in there? Maybe. Do I think that somebody's gonna like go there and get a pry bar and pry it open and do? Listen, you'd be
Dude,
getting caught on so many surveillance cameras to take that chance. I
those
don't
lids,
think somebody
those lids are hella heavy, man.
I don't think somebody's going to take that chance being caught on all these surveillance cameras. Now, do I think it could be a possibility if it was already off? Of course, it could be a possibility because you're just literally walking by, kaboom, and you're walking away. You would still be taking the risk to get caught on surveillance. So I would think if somebody really was in that situation where something needed to be gone, I don't see them doing that. I see them going in a vehicle or something like that. Now, when it comes to him walking or leaving, and maybe somebody accidentally left it off that was looking in there the day before, and somebody forgot to, sometimes people can forget. Could that be a possibility? And then something happened, and all of a sudden somebody woke up in the middle of the night and went, oh crap, or somebody was out there working somewhere else and they heard about something that was going on and maybe went by real quick. Oops, I made this mistake. Let me fix it real quick and hopefully nobody noticed. I don't know. Now, we heard that they put a drone in there. That's what was being reported when we first brought this up. I was asking everybody to reach out to their local officials, ask them if they could search this, because really, when you're talking about oil and a scent that travels through water, you look at the way that this drains. I mean, hello, it makes sense.
Right.
We were told it's already been checked. They put a drone down in there. We already showed what the drone would do, what it would look like. But at the same time, Dog brings up a great question, because he brings it up. How good could you have a drone go in there if there's that much mud in there? If you're talking about this much mud and more mud than what's right here, as you see, then how good or effective is that drone? And when it comes to how wide this area is, when it comes to all of those networks of the sewage system and the drainage and everything, that takes place, it makes you wonder, like, I don't know, do you think when it comes to this whole area, and I'll go ahead and bring it up in a map. When it comes to this whole area, do you really think that they really checked all of this? I mean, and you're talking all the way up here
Not a chance.
because right here, all this green right here is it was all dirt when Sebastian went missing.
Yeah,
It was
dirt
all-
and mud. I remember all the mud I got all over my wheelchair when we were there. So
Let me here. I'll bring this up and show you guys this. I'll even use Google Earth to give you a zone of what we're talking here. So we're talking. There's the fence line. You're talking anything because all of this right here, all of this drains to the retention pond, which goes back over here, and then it drains this way. So when it comes to this whole section, you're going to tell me that a drone was able to check all them pipes? Because think about, oh, it's not showing it. Hold on. This right here. This whole section. You're talking about these drainage pipes, especially the top right, because all of that green is actually dirt. And when you look at this area right here, and I'm going to show you because it shows you the road on this part. This is the part. These areas around here were the areas that didn't have the covers on the manholes back then. So when you go back to our searches from April, and in the construction area, first searches in construction area in April, beginning April, you see all this is dirt. You see the potential roads that this was going to be back then. You see the manhole covers not having them on. You see me saying, hey, guess what, guys? Can we make sure the dog hits each one of these manholes? Because I could see somebody falling down in here. Now, somebody falls down in here and is their arms broken and they can't climb out. They keep screaming for somebody and nobody hears them. Well, wouldn't you? If you're screaming and nobody's hearing you, whether it's the daytime, nighttime, whatever it is, who knows? I mean, it's got to be scary. Think about it. You fall down. It's late at night. How many hours until your mom wakes up to get you to go to school? You're screaming. Nobody hears you. You're gonna fight or flight.
exactly.
You're gonna want to try and crawl through. Maybe I can. It's so dark already because
Maybe
you're in the middle of a construction area. Sorry.
you're saying maybe I can fit. Maybe I can find a bigger one somehow. And
I can crawl out to this spot right here. That's your end goal. I can crawl out to this spot and make it. Because if nobody's hearing you and it's dark and you're scared and you're hurting and you're freaking out and you're spazzing and you're like, I need nobody, you're gonna want to try and escape.
then you get down in all that mud and you start hyperventilating.
You get stuck. Imagine, dude, can you imagine trying to crawl through this mud? You know how exhausting that would be already?
Yeah,
Then all of a sudden you get exhausted, you're on your chest, and you get exhausted and your head falls down and your head's in mud. What's going to happen? You suffocate.
exactly.
And then there's so much mud moving around in them pipes, you don't know if it's getting covered up. And then next thing you know, there isn't a scent that's going to travel through that sewage system because the scent, think about it, why does my cowboy boot almost come off in this mud? Because it creates a suction. That air gets trapped. So you don't think that a scent of somebody that could be underneath mud, that scent is trapped. That scent won't travel then through those pipes.
Well,
So there's so many.
Think about it this way: it's like a cemetery. There's plenty of people that are buried in the ground there, but you don't smell anything. because the scent gets stuck down there. Is essentially what you're saying.
But with mud, the
Yeah,
air suction. So you could literally be covered up and your scent's not going to travel. Now, it could move around, that mud shifts and all these other things. But what I'm trying to say is when it comes to this whole zone, you can't tell me that drone checked all of it, because he could literally have been in there for a period of time where his scent would have traveled to the pond and then ended up getting in a position to where he got stuck or covered or whatever, and all of a sudden the scent doesn't appear anymore. And you can't tell me that these drains were checked
if
like that.
if they checked all those drains, I want to see the footage of it. I
That's
want to
what we were told. So, but when Dog comes out and says something now, guess what? We need to discuss it more. We
Yeah.
need to bring more attention to it because it's legitimate.
Well, I thought it was legitimate a couple months ago when you brought it up. I thought it was legitimate back in April when we went and saw it. But
I mean, it is. But when a couple months ago, I even reached out to Jennifer Coffindaffer, sent her this, and I was like, hey, like, yo, this is hello. But that's the thing. Nobody really takes, it, because
here,
I'm not this huge platform. People
right,
think I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, well, no, it's not that. It's just, you know, I'm a small fish. Just wait until we're big fish, you
right,
know? Um, but I don't think it was, we did what we could do. We reached out to the people reached out to the local officials. We were, even the investigative agencies, we were told it was already checked. If we had a credible lead, then it doesn't mean that they wouldn't check it. They just aren't going to check it and weren't going to check it because there was nothing beyond the theory of it could be possible.
right.
So now that Dog is talking about it, that's why I'm saying we need to add more attention to it, and it's more legitimate because now that Dog is saying, yo, this could definitely be possible. It definitely could be possible. And maybe with the attention and your guys' attention, if it could have so much more attention brought to this, thanks to Dog, shout out to Dog, maybe
Yeah,
these can get checked, you know?
yeah.
Maybe they can get checked because we've been screaming for a long time
For
for
months,
these to get checked.
for
And so I'm
months,
just hoping.
we just didn't have the resources to do it.
I don't know. I don't know what Dog came across. I don't know if he saw the video and was like, man, because there was a lot of the things that he says where it's like, damn, man, you must have watched the video, because there's a lot of things that we've brought up, especially in the part 1 and 2, where it was like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's
Whenever I
huh?
was whenever I was watching, that's exactly what I was thinking. Damn, did he watch CJ's video?
Because we bring it all up, like even the photos, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially this one, because this one says a lot. This one says a lot. And like I said, you can go back to April 6th,
Oh,
April 7th searches, and you can see uh, it's even being discussed about these manhole covers. Because to me, it was like, holy crap. How do you not even have covers? Even the one that, like, this is the one that went into to the north, but
right.
the one behind this one that had that like rebar on it,
Yeah,
and it wasn't even attached, bro. You could literally, like, and it wasn't even covering the whole thing. You could
no,
literally just slide it off. It was
crawl right down in there.
right, and that's
Yeah,
another 6-7 foot fall.
that bothered me, man. That bothered
Yeah.
me bad.
Yeah, it's so there's part 1 and 2. You know, we're kind of going more into it on this one because I think it's important. Because, like I said, when Dog brings it up and starts talking about it and just stating all these things, that, you know, maybe my video only got 500 views, and that's not what it's about. It's not about the clicks and views. It's about trying to bring factual information, all theories, thoughts, and opinions, so we can find the truth. And it is about community, you know. And so it's one of these things where it's like we got to talk about it more, because it needs to be done. When you look at this, zone, I'm sorry, you know, we can only do what we can do. But when we look at this zone, you can't tell me that all of this connected. We've already showed you where they drain and everything. You can't tell me that all of these potential areas were checked when it comes to how muddy those pipes are. Give me a break. But we can only do we can only do what we could do. They already reached out to now, hopefully with Dog's pressure and attention on it. Maybe some of these, okay, yeah, city official. You know, like I said, if I need to go down in there, I'm going to be coming back. I'll be in Tennessee again in the middle of next week. We got some work to do here for Amber Berbilia, and then I'm coming to Tennessee for a little bit. Listen, city official, you want to come pop the lid? I'll freaking go down in there and I'll crawl and look for them. Okay? I'll make a flashlight hat. We'll go down in there. Down in there. Dolly Vision says he's got a monster truck drone thingy, whatever, that would work better than any of this other stuff. Well, get your monster truck thing, get it down in there. Let's go, bro. You know what I'm saying? Dolly, come down in there with me. Listen, if they don't, I will do it for my services for free. I'll go down in there if I need to. What's up, Mama 136? They need to be searched. I'll always feel this.
Right.
But again, 85% I feel trafficking, 15% I feel these sewer drains.
Yeah, that trafficking thing scares me, man. As much as they've been finding people left and right from that stuff, and
yeah, think about it, man. It's the perfect little, I hate saying it, but it's the truth. It's the perfect little community just a couple minutes outside of Nashville that is dark as hell, and everybody trusts each other, bro.
yep.
You know, and it's a perfect mixture for these predators out there.
The place was safe. Not anymore.
Mm-mm.
Remember in the beginning? Remember in the beginning, I was telling you, "Oh, this place is great. People are nice, and you know, it's real safe and all that." I take back every bit of that now. Every bit of.
Yeah, because you're from there, you know.
Yeah, well, going there now, my eyes are open to what it's like today.
So far, what our leads could say, there is a manhole right in front of the Proudfoot's property. And they've said, yeah, the drone or the cops, somebody said, they flew drones in there. And there's like 3 foot of mud, okay? Then
see what I'm saying? This is where I'm like, man, he must have watched the video. Because I'm like, man, this is like, and shout out, because this is all the stuff we were discussing a couple months ago, and it's like,
I literally,
yes,
dog at 70-something years old take his shirt off and go down that manhole. I could see him doing it.
You know, you got this one right across the street. You know, when it comes to this manhole compared to where Sebastian's house is at, you look at this map that I bring up to you guys, and it follows the path of the lights. This is the manhole right here between 1012 and 1014 Kellen Lane. This is Sebastian's house. This is the path of the lights. I mean, and then you look at this right here when it comes to this whole zone of where these pipes are ran through. And then I'll go right back to this picture right here when you're looking at, yeah, it's half of it was filled with mud, y'all.
Whole labyrinth of pipes too.
Yep.
They go everywhere.
So when he's bringing it up, it's like, yes, please, we need attention on these manholes. You even hear people tonight, yesterday, the day before, making fun. You know, people even in their chats, yeah, CJ's the one that created that stupid theory. And it's like, whatever. I've been ridiculed from the beginning, and I continue to get ridiculed about it. But you know what? To me, it's legitimate. And it's legitimate to Dog too. He's telling you,
man, they got to do better.
He's telling you. And then again, you look at this. Come on now. That whole zone, you ain't doing all that. So we need to push this on socials. We need to create the energy, the awareness. Listen, I'm going to be back in Tennessee the middle of next week. If my ass needs to go down in there free of charge to go down in there and get in the freaking pipes, I don't give an F. You know what I mean? I've been in more dangerous situations already. You think crawling through an effing pipe is going to freak me out? Hell no. It needs done.
Might freak me out. I'm claustrophobic, man.
I'm claustrophobic too, but I'm about getting shit done. I listen, come on, man. Like when I'm afraid to fly, and I took a damn flight to Idaho last minute.
Yeah.
Listen, there's sometimes where you're scared, but it's like, look, man, I gotta go beyond. I have to. Because it's just, I'll be thinking about it, and I'll be wishing. Each day that passes, I'll be wishing. Damn, I wish. You just gotta do it sometimes. F it. I'm claustrophobic too, man. You think I'm gonna have fun? Hell no. But you know what I am gonna have? A freaking answer.
My big ass wouldn't
we can
fit
talk about it or not.
My big ass wouldn't fit in that pipe.
Listen, hey, check it, and then guess what? We don't talk about it anymore, or we continue to talk more about it. It's one or the other. But one or the other, it's going to lead us closer to what really happened. Whether he wasn't or was, either way, it's going to lead us closer, and that's what we're trying to do. So, do I think the drone really checked it? No, but we're not, we can only do so much. The community reached out to him a couple months ago when we came out with this video. That's what we were told. Just like Dog said, law enforcement reported that they had a drone put down in there and that they flew it in there. We showed you what kind of drone it was. Listen, we don't break the rules. We respect everybody. We're not going to be popping the covers, jumping in there. There's certain organizations or businesses or officials that need to help. It's just the way it is. They need to be checked, and I'm so happy to hear that Dog's bringing attention about this.
So far, what our leads could say, there is a manhole right in front of the Proudfoot's property. And they said, yeah, the drone or the cops, somebody said, they flew drones in there. And there's like 3 foot of mud, okay? Then a dog, a really good dog, 2 of them, one of them stopped at the edge of the pond that was drained, and the other one jumped in the pond. If Sebastian was put down that manhole into the mud, the scent would have carried to that pond. So I want to know why they haven't blocked that off, got in some kind of suit, and went on their hands and knees and looked in that, manhole and all the way to the pond. Dogs, their sense of smell is so much more than a human being. And for a German Shepherd to jump in the water, well, they drain the pond. Yeah, because he could be in that manhole, in that little, cave, whatever they call it, inside there where it drains to that pond. So there's a lot of things that the TBI could be doing and haven't done nothing. Now, I heard they flew a drone in there. Well, you know how muddy that is and how thick of mud is in there? Flying a drone on top inside is not going to do nothing.
And who says he wasn't covered up? You could fly a freaking drone in there and fly right over him. You don't know. You don't know. Oh.
Put some ground penetrating radar in there.
I'm so glad Dog is bringing attention to this, really. And it's crazy. People literally doing shows yesterday ridiculing the whole manhole theory that we came up with a few months ago. It's like, come on, man. Hell, the manhole theory we talked about in the beginning of April when we saw all the manhole covers.
Yeah.
About 75% missing.
All the mud and everything that was there in April. I mean, I couldn't get through all that mud.
No.